Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with another weekly Q&A video.
Episode 2.
Yeah,
So anyways,
Season 2. We can jump straight into the Q&As. Our first question comes from Jorge Pabon. Jorge, yeah. And they say, what are some good evolved gears that are not rare?
Alright, so let's unpack that question a bit. I guess part of it depends on what you consider not rare. So that's like 1-star, 2-star, maybe even 3-star. Honestly, I gotta tell you, it really depends on how you play. You might want to take a look at our studying gears where we talk a little bit about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, just as a good example, right? It sort of depends on how you play. So, for example, there's a alien weaponry, which is a 1-star that evolves into 2-star gear for special 1, which gives you crit chance and damage boost, is almost as good as the 3-star evolving to 4-star gear, Zarnian Hook and Chain, which is Lobo's gear. So you don't get the third ability for Lobo. Most of the time you're not using it on him. And so you got to really pay attention to the numbers. Got to be honest with you, most of the gears, our favorite gears, if we had to get rid of everything else and just use one class, it would be the basic damage plus crit chance.
Yeah, because those are by far the most useful for just getting people dead fast.
Yeah. And so the 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star gears like that are all good. I mean, it goes without saying, right? When they're legendary and their score is 150 when you max them out, yeah, they're all going to be good. But they are hard to get, and they cost a lot to fuse them properly.
Yeah.
So, again, link is going to be in the description, but you might want to take a look at some of that because there's a lot of valuable lower star gears. I mean, it didn't used to be popular to say that, but I think we've always held, especially in our demo videos.
Yeah, where we've on purpose tried to get gear scores as low as possible.
Yeah.
Or just low enough to be comfortable, but not the best.
Right.
Yeah, just because we could make them the best. So anyways, thanks for the question. Our next one comes from Mitchell McMinn, and they say, is owning more than one of the same gear card make it more powerful, or simply just a duplicate? I have multi-copies of some legendary gear cards, but don't know if I should sell them or not. If it makes it more powerful, then cool, but if it does nothing, then I can sell those duplicates, right?
Alright, I guess let's unpack this question too. So duplicate gears definitely don't do anything. They're a source for shards when you shatter them, and shards are the building blocks for fusing and making gears stronger. So that's basic stuff, right? But the longer answer, which you didn't ask exactly, is a bit more complicated, right? So, a bit of history too. When gears were first introduced, shattering a specific gear gave you basically the same number of shards each time. I mean, there's
always bonuses.
Right, yeah, a little bit of variation there, but really not much, right? And with one of the updates, off the top of my head, I can't remember when, but the amount of shards increased with the greatest number of shards being given when you shattered gear that had been fully evolved and completely leveled up.
Yeah, and for a little while it was just stupid numbers. Like, it was way more than it should have been.
I think they still are. I mean, it's been a long time since we needed to shatter because we've got everything fused and there hasn't been new stuff coming out, but yeah. So, short term, the amount of resources in terms of shards and credits that you need to fully evolve a gear is a lot more than you'll get back when you shatter it once, clearly. But if you're playing Injustice long term, and alright, okay, I get it, Injustice 2 is coming out, who knows if Injustice will survive after that, but I'm hopeful, right?
Yeah.
Then it makes a lot of sense to hold off on shattering gears until you have it maxed out.
That's true.
So, and that strategy of waiting until you max them out before shattering, that's easiest with low star gears. They're the cheapest in power credits and shards. They're also the most common. They're easy to get in the gear packs.
Yeah, because to even evolve it, you need at least one purple gear.
Yes, that's right. So hang on to your lower star gears until you max them out, and then shatter them to your heart's content. You'll get the most back out of them by doing this.
Yeah, so the best strategy is to do it with one gear at a time, and try to pick either the gear that's your favorite, or if all the lowest star gear are kind of roughly equivalent to you, pick the one that you have the most copies of initially.
And so your specific question about higher star gears, that it's actually a different strategy because higher star gears take a lot of credits and shards. So not only is it harder to wait, but because legendary gears are much harder to get, right? You get them at events, or you get them in Survivor. It takes a lot longer to reap the benefits of the extra shards because you never have as many of them to shatter.
It's true. At the best, you barely have any.
Right. So there's less of a reason to hold on to those. So it probably makes a lot more sense to shatter extra copies of legendary gears, but max out the lower star gears before you shatter those. So it's, I know you weren't asking about lower star gears.
But I think that's a general useful kind of answer to anybody who doesn't know how to go about shattering gears the most efficiently yet.
Yeah, so thanks, Mitchell, for asking.
Our next comment, and this is our newest entry in a series of snarky comments that we're going to reply sarcastically to, comes from Loud Films, and they say
about a Survivor video.
He stole this video, lol.
Yeah, and you know what? You totally caught us. The hardest part about that was finding another YouTuber who posts videos on injustice and has two guys with the voices that sound like ours and that remember what they're supposed to say at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Because, that's important. And in case the sarcasm is lost on anyone listening to this, we didn't steal it.
And I think it's possible that he thinks we somehow stole like a 40-something minute video that just happened to have no voiceover, but like perfect in-game audio. We just stole that to re-upload, but I think that's, although not totally impossible, like the other potential scenario, just still very, very unlikely.
I guess what's funny is, and just as more bigger commentary on YouTube, I mean, we've got some videos that are more popular, and we've got some videos that are less popular, and what I find actually is that we get a better response on our less popular videos, and maybe it's because these are the people, our hardcore audience, that, appreciate us for who we are, and not, like, when you get a more popular video, you got a large crowd coming in, right?
Yeah, there's some people who don't know you.
There's just more crap.
Yeah, it's true. But a higher percentage. And then we've got a couple questions. They're related to each other. Well, one question, one comment. Louis Martinez says first, and then they say after that, does it really matter that I'm first? He's really asking the hard-hitting questions here.
Well, you know what's funny too? I love talking about YouTube and how it works. And at the beginning, I used to think, well, what was the point of those first comments? And
viewer engagement.
It is. It's funny what YouTube will reward, and comments actually have an impact. I mean,
much more than likes, actually.
Yeah, which is, to me, it's a little bit weird, right? Because ultimately what matters is per view. So every 1,000 views, we get, on average, about $1. And it doesn't change. A comment doesn't count as a view, but what it does is it can improve the ad rate, the CPM, so the cost per mil, or the money that we get per 1,000 views. Not a lot, but some. So the more engagement, which includes, like you said, comments, likes, then that'll have an impact on how profitable we are.
So we can actually answer your question. No, it doesn't matter that you're first, but yes, it does matter that you tell us that you're first.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
and also, it matters even more when you get a little bit of an existential crisis and you need to check with us if it does matter.
Because that's another comment.
Yeah. So, I mean, the short answer is, yeah, we actually do appreciate it when you let us know you're first, because it shows that you're a subscriber, you're an eager subscriber, and it also helps us out.
So thank you, Luis.
Yeah, on a couple levels. Our next question / comment comes from Ullom, and they say, I think you should have shown yourselves beating this without any augmented characters. I've only been playing this game for a week, and I'm 5 battles away from beating it on Nightmare. My silver team has 1 Elite 7 Nightwing, level 31, Elite 5 Green Lantern, level 46, and Elite 3 Wonder Woman, level 46. Obviously, I would love to have fully augmented characters and 300 stat gear. Lol. Hopefully, I'll be able to clear it soon. When I get stuck, I just promote someone and try again.
Alright, so
first off, I'd like to note that he's only been playing it for a week, and he found our video.
A week, right.
So I appreciate that. We're doing something right, hopefully.
Yeah, so maybe this will help too, because it's part of our history. We've been YouTubing Injustice for, 2 years now?
Yeah,
more than
long
2 years,
time.
2.5 years. And we've actually got a longer history of glitches than we do of gameplay videos. Not that one is more important than the other. We actually spend probably
unless you look at our views.
Yeah, I guess if you measure it by that. So I've got to say first, I mean, kudos that you're trying to complete Nightmare, but completing Nightmare difficulty on the challenges is a very inefficient use of your time. And if you don't care about your time, then you probably don't need glitches, which is what we do a lot of, so more power to you. But point really being that we, in general, the augmentations that you get from Survivor, we love the critical damage and crit chance augmentations, and these make a huge difference in Survivor and multiplayer online play. So we're using them up in sort of our most important fights, and we're holding on to our damage and health because they don't offer a lot of benefit, and sometimes they can actually make fights worse because of the way the matchmaker works, so you get harder opponents. So we needed a place to dump our damage and health augmentations as we're accumulating them by just spending all our crit chance and crit damage boosts.
Yeah, because otherwise it would just be a huge amount of stuff to look through.
Yeah, and so you can see now we're doing in the background playing right now. You see Silver Joker. He's our final guy to finish off the silver only ladder in Nightmare, and it's not like our Survivor video because we're not trying to show you that it's possible. If you haven't seen our Survivor video, it's the one the guy was commenting on earlier where we finished all 16 fights and completed it.
We're showing you how easy it can be.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so this is easy with the augmentations that we're getting anyways, that we weren't using anywhere else.
So there you go. And our next and final comment, there's a lot of comments this time that we're going to talk about, comes from Mellow H, and then in brackets, Old Soul. And they say, "Hey BDCKR, I just wanted to say how much you inspire me to break the chains that I entangle myself to better conform to society. I know you may or may not see this, but I wanted to explain that for the majority of my early life, I was often bullied due to the fact that I spoke faster and used a more intense lexicon than the majority of students that surrounded the small portion of the world that I was involved in. Whenever I watch your videos, you inspire me to go and work out, as per your recent weightlifting videos, to begin to delve into a new book, or to just be myself in school and normal everyday life. I can't thank you all enough for appealing to my inner self and providing an atmosphere that inspires me to let it flourish from a seed deprived of nourishment into a strong, fully fledged flower. Thank you for everything. Marshall."
Alright, so this comment, I think, is giving us way more credit than we deserve for our videos, so at the risk that this is someone making a joke at our expense, I'm actually going to want to respond to this seriously, right? Because it gives me a chance to talk about some things that are actually important to me. Yeah, like bullying sucks, and growing up kind of sucks too. And I mean, it's a bit of a cliche to say that it gets better, but it does, because as you get older, you have so much more control over your environment, and instead of being forced to deal with situations that are just toxic, you can walk away from them and create an environment that is good for you.
Yeah.
And one of the things that always bugged me, and I still hate it when I see it, is when somebody disses somebody else's fandom. I mean, I get it. Listen, if there's something that's particularly harmful, that's no good. But if it's something that you like, man, like a real fan shares it with other people, and you wanna, if you're a hipster, it matters more that you know something before everybody else does, or you like something before everybody else does. But if you're a real fan, you don't care. You just want to share it with people.
Yeah.
That joy of whatever it is that you like. Like, we love books. I guess if people who are watching this only watch our Injustice videos, you may not realize that we do a lot of reading, that at the end of our unboxing videos, we do recommendations, and a lot of our recommendations are books that we read and love.
They're very, very good books. I don't think we recommended a single book that I just felt like was, okay. They're all books that...
They were spectacular in some way.
They're all books that while I was reading them, I had trouble putting them down, or I would rank them among some of my favorite books at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry, I lost my train of
thought. You're talking about reading.
Yeah, alright, so, yeah, I guess, it does get better. Everything does, just because when you're younger, you're so at the mercy of the adults around you, and so you're stuck. Whether it's people that are supposed to be taking care of you, or people that are around you in places that are supposed to be safe, like school. It doesn't even matter whether they're successful or not when they get older. The key really is that if you don't want to deal with them, you don't have to.
Yeah.
And you can surround yourself with people that are decent and good and appreciate you for who you are.
Yeah. And I think it's really nice that you said this, but also, like we said right at the beginning, I think we are probably getting almost a little bit too much credit from you. Uh, it's great. Any positive effect we've had on anybody, that is great, and it is super significant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people like us on the internet. There's a lot of, better spoken, more avid readers on the internet. And I feel like if we are one of those people to you, that's amazing, but you'd have no trouble finding a better example than us.
Yeah, no, and we honestly we do appreciate you reaching out to us like this, because
Yeah.
this is one of those things too, right? Like, when one of the things that I notice too as I get older is that people are really quick to say things when there's a problem. It's easy to complain. Something goes wrong, you say something, but very rarely do people come out and tell you when things are going right.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we probably don't do enough of, just in general as a society, as people, is that we don't appreciate the people around us enough, and just our situation and the things around us.
Yeah.
So thanks. We appreciate that comment. That was really kind of cool.
For sure. Yeah, so there we go. That was our last comment of a very comment-heavy week, but I think we addressed some fun stuff.
All right, so now we're just going to watch the tail end of the finishing the Nightmare Challenge. So we just finished the Silver Ladder, and now we're just getting set up to do the last boss final, where Joker's the last requirement. And I'm sort of torn about whether to make it really easy or to make it challenging, but I'm not. I guess I've been playing this long enough that this is not where I want to find my challenge. And so that's the classic pairing, but I think in this case it probably isn't going to be that useful, simply because I wasn't entirely paying attention. I think this is Special 1 and Supers are disabled.
So then Shazam won't be that useful. Oh.
Green
Yeah,
Lantern.
but Green Lantern's going to be useful. Well, yeah, you know what? I miss... Remember when he was really, really powerful?
Oh man, yeah, where you could just special over and over again and guarantee essentially taking out more than one person.
Right, because his Special 2 was doing way more damage than it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And there wasn't...
Any cooldown, you could just special 2 over and over again.
Right, immediately.
Until
So
you died.
Right, and because specials are prioritized over basic attacks, you wouldn't have to take any damage, you wouldn't have to block anything, you just do Special 2, Special 2.
Yeah, and if you had it round the right way, he'd be left with 1 health after doing that one special, so you could get an extra Special 2 in.
Right. And if you teamed him up with John Stewart Green Lantern, and the
Infinite
Fourth World
Special
Gear.
2s, yeah.
Right, and Fourth World Gear. Yeah, right. So
you'd be able to resurrect, and for a certain amount of time, you'd be able to use as many specials as you wanted.
Right, because even though specials count towards the playtime, it didn't count towards...
Oh, Special
cooldown.
3s don't count towards that time.
Oh,
So,
yeah, you're right.
As soon as John Stewart Green Lantern hit, you would trigger Special 3 over and over again, and you could get like 4 or something off.
Right, because the
Something
whole
stupid.
animation didn't count towards the, what is it, 8 seconds or something?
Yeah, so you could Special 3 over and over again.
Alright, so one thing people neglect about Killing Joker is that they want to just trigger his passive really quickly, and it's easy to forget that he's actually pretty good damage dealer, because his swipe special, swipe combo does 4 hits. Oh, and actually random tag is a pain in the butt.
Oh, Special 2? There we go. Unblocked too, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so when you're doing this, I can't remember what it was, but it was doing a huge amount of damage, and then there'd be the damage over time after. Oh, actually, you know what would be kind of cool? Is you just show how much he can still do now, even with having been nerfed. We could probably stick him against Arkham Origins Batman, and he can basically take him out almost with 1 Special 2.
Yeah, Boss Batman.
Yeah.
That would be a kind of interesting video.
Alright, that's it.
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.